Привет! Welcome to our Vinitaly Russian tour, a series that will air each day, this week only.
Each episode is dedicated to the events being held at the end of March this year in Moscow and St. Petersburg at Borsa Vini and Vinitaly Russia,
Organized by the Verona Fiera
and the Italian Trade Agency,
powered by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Grab your favorite Italian wine and we will see you in Russia.
If you enjoyed listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production and publication costs.
And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in. Пока-пока!
Hello, this is the Italian Wine Podcast Russian Tour with me, Rebecca Lawrence. This year, Borsa Vini and Vinitaly Russia joined forces to give a new impetus to the development of partnerships between Italian wine producers, Russian importers and wine professionals, aimed to expand their Italian wine portfolio. And we're happy to give the floor today on the Italian Wine Podcast to the participants of joint events in Moscow and St. Petersburg, organised by Verona Fiera and the Italian Trade Agency, and powered by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. We asked wine producers to present themselves with one wine that best represents the winery and to answer two questions. Why is this wine special for you? And which traditional dish of your region pairs well with this wine? The Piano Sud programme, powered by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, presents the Italian wine producers taking part in B2B meetings in Russia organised by the Italian Trade Agency. Az.agricola Sallemi Giovanni, Guardiense, LIMONIO. So, let's dive in. Az.agricola Sallemi Giovanni is located between Caltagirone and Granieri, in one of the most fascinating areas of Sicily. The vineyard owned by the Sallemi family was established in the 70s, is exposed to hills and catches the midday sun. It extends for 4 hectares. Sustainability in the cultivation of vineyards, as well as respect for the natural transformation in the cellar, give rise to wines that have a strong connection with this land. The wines of Sallemi Giovanni express the aromas and characteristics of this territory and remain alive for many years. The company is a family business, and all undertaken actions are influenced by the traditions left by its predecessors. In particular, the grapes ferment in a cement container, useful both to maintain the characteristic yeasts of the wine and to prevent the grapes from reaching high temperatures during fermentation, thus allowing the preservation of the typical smells and flavours of Nero d'Avola. Recently, Sallemi Giovanni was awarded the Wine Hunter Award 2020 at Maran Wine Festival for the Sicilia Nero d'Avola Classica DOC 2017. And yet, today we're going to speak about a wine from 2015, Sicilia Nero d'Avola, the Terra di Conventazzo, Terra Siciliana IGP. Let's take a look at the technical sheet. The wine is vinified using a tradition handed down for generations, with moderate contact of the grapes with the fermented must, followed by soft pressing with a manual screw press, a process that guarantees to respect the original aromas and flavours. It is aged in oak barrels, producing a dry red wine with 36 months of oak contact. Let's dive a little deeper into the winemaking process here at Sallemi Giovanni Winery. The grapes are harvested manually. On a sorting table, the integrity and health of the freshly harvested bunches are checked, which are then separated from the stalks with a destemmer. At this point, the grapes are fermented in large cement containers for about 36 hours. The yeasts, after fermentation, are reactivated the following year in contact with fresh must. At the end of this process, the must, still in full fermentation, is transferred into stainless steel tanks. After completing the alcoholic and malolactic fermentation, the wine is left to decant naturally, favoured by the cold of the months of November and December. When most of the lees have settled to the bottom of the tanks, the wine is decanted. It then continues to rest in steel tanks throughout the winter, becoming progressively less acidic and free of all the residues. When the wine is clear, it is transferred into 70 hectolitre oak barrels to start the maturation, enhancing the unique characteristic of these grapes that have been ripened thanks to it being exposed to the wonderful sunshine of Sicily. The wine continues its aging in oak barrels for at least a year. Then, subsequently, without subjecting it to any physical filtering treatment, it is bottled, during periods of the waning moon. It's an intense ruby wine with fruity notes, hints of Amarena cherries, currant, raspberry and plum, enlivened by spicy aromas and flowery scents of violets. In the mouth, the mature fruit flavours are supported by the presence of an enveloping tannin, notes of vanilla, tobacco, licorice, and a slight balsamic taste.
Hi, I'm speaking on behalf of Giovanni Sallemi from the Sallemi Giovanni farm, located between Caltagirone and Victoria, between the Sicilian provinces of Catania and Ragusa. Sallemi produces natural Nero d'Avola wine. His first bottled wine is called Terre di Conventazzo. Produced in 2015, this wine was aged for 3 years in 70 hectoliter oak barrels and then bottled. Giovanni gave this name to the wine to remember his father, who planted his first vineyard in the 70s in the Conventazzo district. The image depicted on the label represents his dear screw press. The characteristic of all his wines is that they are produced following the winemaking tradition of the winemakers of the Victorian region, as well as of his father and grandfather. Fermentation takes place in a concrete tank for about 36 hours and is an absolutely natural fermentation. Thanks to this procedure, the wine obtained is always elegant, fresh and genuine, so much so it can be also paired with fish dishes, for example with a typical Sicilian dish that is tuna with tomato and mint. This wine has won the Red Label of the Merano Prize Wine Hunter Award. Please visit the Nero d'Avola Sallemi.it website. See you soon!
Thank you so much for telling us a little bit more about the winery. Sicilian cuisine and hospitality are widely known and appreciated, and we hope that soon the restrictions will be lifted and we will be able to visit this land ourselves. In the meantime, we can drink the wines and inhale the local flavours they transmit. Speaking of Sicily, let's touch on the recent eruption of Etna. Despite the emissions and volcanic dust in the surrounding area, according to local winemakers, there is no reason to worry, and mostly they are optimistic about the future of the harvest. What is interesting is that in the wine business in Italy, there is no single pattern. There are small family wineries such as Sallemi Giovanni, or medium-sized ambitious Super Tuscans, or large cooperatives such as our next attendee, La Guardiense Winery, with 60 years of cooperation and wine history. Yet despite all these differences, Italian wine producers are similar in their passion and commitment. La Guardiense Winery is situated in the Santa Lucia area of Guarda San Flamondi, in the very heart of the southern Italian province of Benevento. Geographically, this is part of Campania, but to understand the real identity of this land, you have to fully appreciate the particular historical background of the area. This is the homeland of the ancient Samnite people, and is a land of undulating hills and plains, which even has its own particular microclimate that protects it from the excess of heat and cold. In fact, it is well protected both by the Matese mountain chain that separates it from the Molise region, and by the Taburno Massif that cuts it off from the coast. The inhabitants of Guardia are proud to share the Samnite proverbial tenacity. They have successfully combined individual and collective efforts to achieve extraordinary results, of which the La Guardiense is one example. The farming cooperative of La Guardiense, which is one of the biggest in Italy, was founded in 1960 by 33 far-sighted and courageous farmers. Today, it counts around 1,000 farmer members. These are direct wine growers cultivating their own respective grapes on around 1,500 hectares of vineyards, situated mainly on hilly soils at an average height of 350 metres above sea level, and with a yearly grape production of about 200,000 quintals. Great attention is paid to the environmental sustainability which is adopted at every stage of the transformation process using renewable energy produced by its own innovative photovoltaic system. The cooperative uses one of the most important systems for the production of its sparkling wine in all of southern Italy. It has been led by only 3 different presidents over the last 50 years, although it has been very successful in adapting to the new era and to the many market changes that have occurred over time. What else? Under the supervision of enologist Riccardo Cottarella, wine growers have improved the quality of local grapes through the application of a rigorous protocol for experimental production. There are 5 product lines: Gianare, Icon, Fremondo, Classica and Spumante, and 2 types of vines grown here, Falanghina and Aglianico. Falanghina is considered to be among Campania's oldest varieties and tends to be separated into 2 types, those from Flegrea, which are floral, and those from Beneventana, which are more structured and often have more alcohol. Look out particularly for the wines of Falanghina del Sannio, DOC, which offer some of the best expressions. These are wines with high acidity, floral aromas, and sometimes a pungent leafy green note. On the palate, stone fruits such as peach and apricot combine with a characteristic yellow apple note to yield wines that are full of flavour. In the best examples, the fruit and floral components are backed by a distinct mineral streak and a palpable texture. Due to its high acidity, there are producers experimenting with sparkling wines, so watch this space. Here, the wine we try is Cenette, Falanghina del Sannio Guardia San Framondi DOP. The grape variety is 100% Falanghina, and it's made in the production area of Sannio in Beneventano, Campania. The alcohol is typically around 13.5%. It is a strong straw yellow colour, and the fruity nuances increase progressively, leaving a well-balanced, pleasant and refreshing finish. It's ideal with light hors d'oeuvres, gnocchi, pasta with tomatoes or zucchine. It's very good with fish and finely sliced raw beef, caprese, buffalo mozzarella. You could try this wine with many foods. This wine has won many awards, including the Gambero Rosso Vini d'Italia in 2014, Berlin Wine Trophy Gold Medal, Bibenda 2014 Tre Grappoli, I Vini do Veronelli. I could go on.
Hi, good morning. My name is Luigi Foschini. I am the export manager for the winery La Guardiense, which is situated in Campania region in south of Italy, not far from Naples, about 70 kilometers northeast on the Apennines. The wine that we are going to present today is the Falanghina, and the label is the Cenette. Falanghina del Sannio DOP is our most important grape variety in the Sannio wine district, and it's an indigenous grape dating back its origin to the Greek time, and nowadays it's particularly suitable on fantastic food pairing combination. In fact, this wine fits very well with gnocchi and pasta with tomatoes or zucchini, very good with the fish or finely sliced raw beef, but fantastic on caprese and buffalo mozzarella. But it's very interesting if you try this wine on eggplant parmigiana or on creamy cheeses as well. It's an incredible wine to be paired, but also a wine to be used as an aperitif. This wine also has been awarded for 4 years in a row with the 3 glasses, 3 bicchieri in Gambero Rosso wine magazine.
Many thanks to Luigi Foschini, export manager for the winery La Guardiense, and one more time, we are heading to Sicily to find out more about our next attendee, Limonio. Traditionally, at the end of the dinner, some after-dinner drinks are served. So here we are, almost towards the end, so let's talk about liqueurs. Limonio is a Sicilian story, the life of a family. The experience of a few closely connected individuals can mirror larger phenomena, the developments of a global history. It is this correspondence that the most attentive observer perceives in the history of a company like Limonio. A century-old mosaic made of entrepreneurial skills and agronomic culture, but also passion, childhood memories, and the rich perfumes of a captivating island. From the production of citrus fruit and the harvesting of blossoms, from which, through ancient techniques, precious essential oils can be obtained to be used in cosmetic and pharmaceutical preparations, until the turning point of limoncello in the 1990s. This was when the first was produced directly in Sicily. The Russo family has transformed its company without relinquishing its spirit, drawing on the intuitions brought by the kind of experience that only hard work in the field for generations can teach. According to Guisi and Rita, who together with their siblings Valeria and Vincenzo are the Russos' fourth generation at the helm of the family company, everything they know today they owe to their father, who, since they were young, took them to the estate whenever he could. And in that image, inspired by the memory and the vivid colours of the family's 50 hectares of land, one can easily picture Father Francesco wandering around the citrus orchards as his children do today, collecting cratefuls of precious fruit that would later turn into bottles of liqueur. Limonio's range of liqueurs, which today includes 10 offerings, is made with nothing but Palermo's finest produce. Lemons, oranges, mandarins, mulberries, prickly pears and laurel, all farmed organically in the family's estate of Partinico, and ingredients such as coffee, cocoa and cinnamon, all sourced from a small number of carefully selected producers. Together with the company's olive oil and its famous Amaro, the overall production serves as many as 26 countries, among which are the United States, Japan, Singapore, South Africa, and of course, Russia. Let's taste the wine. Oh, no! This time, let's taste the limoncello lemon liqueur. So, the star of Limonio's liqueur production, obtained from the peel of the Sicilian lemon variety Femminello Zagara Bianca, grown in the estate in the valley of Conco d'Oro, is its limoncello, a symphony of lemon blossom aromas and a journey through Sicily's history and traditions. It is the perfect conclusion to a Sicilian meal, especially with a cold serving of fruit salad. The ingredients include organic lemons, alcohol obtained from the distillation of Sicilian grapes, sugar, and water. It has an olive greeny colour varying in intensity depending on the fruit used for the infusion, and the aroma has intense notes of lemon from the essential oils contained in the peel. And the taste is a strong and clear, fragrant note of freshly picked lemon. It can also match fish, seafood salads, biscuits, cakes, ice creams, and can be good in cooking for preparing things such as creams, but also as the base of cocktails.
Hello, I'm Valeria, owner of LIMONIO, and I would like to present you our liquor of lemons, LIMONIO. LIMONIO is special because it is a work of art that smells Sicily and the sun. LIMONIO pairs especially with fishes dishes, but also after any meals or any dessert as digestive or as base of cocktails. Good in an occasion.
Thank you so much, Valeria. Well, we've made it to the end. Last but not least, remains the list of wineries to try for today, along with, of course, the wines. We started with the Terra di Conventazzo Terra Siciliana IGP 2015 from Az.agricola Sallemi Giovanni. Then we moved to the Cenette Falanghina del Sannio Guardia San Framondi DOP from La Guardiense, and finished with a limoncello lemon liqueur from Limonio. That's all for today. You can find a digital catalogue of Borsa Vini and Vinitaly Russia 2021 in a link to the description of these episodes. Thanks again for tuning into the Italian Wine Podcast for the Russian tour. I'm Rebecca Lawrence. Until next time.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, Cin Cin.